It is go time. We're going to try launching this wing. I have my launch expert over there who's good at throwing things. And I can't get any sats, so we're just going to see what happens, chuck it in the air, see if it flies or not. We shall see. Ready, steady?
Yep.
Yep, so here we are. This is the maiden of the FlyBot Flux Wing flight, and if you noticed in the intro I said we've got no sats but we're going anyway. I have a GPS receiver on here and I have iNav, and you can see it flashing away 0. I just couldn't get satellites to lock on this. I don't know if it's the receiver itself, which seems a little bit iffy, or the fact it's quite close to a FreeSky telemetry receiver, which can often have problems. But as it was getting in some satellites a bit later, I'm guessing it's just a little bit finicky about it. Anyway, this launched okay and seemed to fly okay. However, the aircraft kept rolling off to the left, and so I'm in this first flight trimming and trimming and trimming, and I reached my trim limits and it was still going over, so I'm still having to pull round to the right more. And that was just me trying angle mode, and it turned over completely. Now, I wasn't really relying on anything on iNav, I just thought I'd check it out quickly, and I hadn't done enough reading, to be fair, before I tried this out. Anyway, in this particular situation, what we decided to do is bring the plane back in for a landing and check it out properly, because it was still going way over to the left and we need to sort it out. So we're coming quite fast on this landing here because I wasn't sure of the stall speed, and it had a bit of a roly-poly thing. I'll bring it in quite fast because I don't think it's going to glide. Oh, your camera was right there. Whoa! I saw this great big lump of grass jump up in front of me. So, landed with an interesting lump of grass that came up in front of me. And the wing did the right thing. It's supposed to come off when it lands.
Yeah,
dodgily.
I saw something black shoot off, but I think that was literally a piece of poo.
Well, I saw a great big lump of grass jump up in front of the camera.
So we stuck the wing back on as it's supposed to come off exactly like that if it's something dodgy like cartwheeling over, and checked the wing out, and it seemed to be right and the surfaces seemed to be about there, but you haven't actually got that much mechanical movement on the servos, so even trimming all the way over doesn't do quite enough. So it's not this flight that's exciting, but it's actually the next one, because what I did after we came in this time, because it's still going to the left a bit, is I changed the offset on the radio so I could have more room on the servos to actually get it level, and that was perfect. And on the next flight we had it trimmed and level, flying lovely. We had the actual sats come in and I was able to cruise around at between 100 and 120 kilometers, and it was smooth and everything was wonderful. And the problem is, didn't record that flight, and if you don't record it then it didn't happen. So on this one the satellites come back in for a while and we get a bit of a speed rating, and it's flying at about 60-70 kilometers an hour at about 25-30% throttle. So it flies nicely. It was just a case of getting it trimmed out right and communicating this through iNav, and this is another problem that we'll come to. I hadn't checked it out, and I expected that when you do trimming stuff and you sort of reset it, it then takes that position as that is my normal center place. Instead, it's very similar to Betaflight in the terms that it just expects your center position to be 1500 USEC, and if that's not there, it thinks you're putting an input in, and hence whenever I put it into angle or anything else, it just flipped over. I found there's a new mode now called auto trim, where you can basically keep it as you want it and trim it right. Hit this mode and it will say, okay, that is your new center position, which I've got sorted out. Anyway, this is me just bringing it in for that third flight, which was really good. After that point, it all went a bit wrong.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Whoa. What happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, not again.
No.
So what happened in those 2 launches? Well, learning a little bit more about iNav, I think it's all about the fact that it thought it was way off centre. So we had that really good flight, we rebooted it, and the iNav's like, what's going on with this? Why are the servos all over here? And it just sort of turned over and didn't respond as it had been for the last couple of flights. Hopefully that auto trimming thing's going to fix it, but obviously that's my fault for being such a noob at iNav and not checking it out properly. I think if we'd just gone there without any sort of flight controller and flown it, we'd have had a great old time. But I just wanted to use the OSD just for a voltage, if nothing else. And here's the plane now, and you saw it take 2 big impacts on the nose like that, and of course the wings just sprang off. Everything was fine. The reason we actually stopped flying was I had a servo that wasn't responding, and it was because one of the little servo connectors in my flight controller had just come loose, and I couldn't really get in there to sort it out. So I've properly glued those in now so that they're not going to move. We really couldn't fix it on the field, but it's just as well we didn't, because as I was taking off this top plate I found this little bit of plastic and I thought, what's that? And the answer was, it was this bit of plastic here, or half of it, and I had no antenna anymore. And what had happened in one of those crashes, this sticky out antenna had come off completely. It had pulled the NOCX pigtail away with it, and so we were running with the VTX on and no antenna on it for a while. Fortunately that VTX seems fine, but it's kind of useful that the servo wasn't responding properly as well, because we managed to save the VTX by not having it there. The other thing I've done, I've ordered a replacement GPS receiver, because that one seems really weird. We got up to 8 sats, but it just like slightly angling the plane they would drop right down. So I thought, let's get something a bit newer and better and see if we can simply replace that and it will go better. But yeah, we'll be able to fly this again now we understand it. What I would say about it is, despite all those head-on nose-in crashes, the actual wing itself, there is no damage. It does its job brilliantly. When you crash it, it's just like, yeah, I'll just fall apart and bits will happen. I mean, you saw the camera got slightly tilted down, and that was just a case of tightening screws up. But yet, despite my difficulty in getting the footage out of this and the iNav problems I have, when it was actually flying brilliantly, and coincidentally the flight I didn't manage to record, it was brilliant. Really smooth, really fast. When we went past us, it made that lovely whooshing noise you get. Yeah, and it was cruising at over 100 without a problem, really easy. The reason we brought it back to do those last flights is because we launched it 3 times and that battery was getting dead, so I thought, we'll replace the battery, it's flying really well, and we'll get some great footage. And of course it just dunked into the ground twice, and then the servo pulled out, which was a pain. But yeah, so despite all those problems, as far as the wing goes, it's really good and actually launches pretty well. I just have to understand more stuff about iNav, so I will be going back, doing my research properly, and then we'll be out to fly this again, because I am really looking forward to flying this one. It seems to go really well, and I don't think it's too much hassle to launch. The last mini race wing was a pain to get going. This seems less so. Anyway, there's links down below, and I've got a discount code if you're interested in a FlyBot Flux for yourself, and we'll obviously be back to get some more out of this, and hopefully I'll learn a lot more about iNav in the process, which is, I always say it's the most useful thing for learning. You don't do it theoretically, you go out there, you make mistakes, and you fix them, and you learn what you did wrong. That's what I do anyway. Anyway, hope that's been helpful, and I'll catch you next one. Bye for now.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.